Look at all the tiny lights, Grandpa. How many stars are out there? A zillion?
More than a zillion, Noah. Billions and billions. But tonight, we're not just looking at stars. We're going to explore something much closer to home, the solar family.
The solar family? Is that like a space sitcom we haven't heard about?
Not quite, Ella. The solar family is just a nickname for something really important. Our very own solar system. You know, all the planets and other cosmic stuff that orbit around the sun.
So the sun is like the parent?
Exactly. The sun is the head of the family, and quite the powerhouse, too. Everything in our solar system revolves around it because of its gravity. I mean, without the sun holding things together, the planets would just go spinning off into space, like an out-of-control merry-go-round.
So if the sun's the parent, who are the kids? The planets?
Precisely. There are 8 main planets plus a lot of other fascinating members in the family. Let's start with the closest child to the sun, Mercury. It's small, rocky, and gets ridiculously hot during the day because it's so close to the sun, but at night it's freezing cold.
So it's like a popsicle that melts and refreezes all the time?
That's one way to think of it. Next comes Venus, the second planet. It's almost the same size as Earth, but don't let that fool you. It's covered in thick clouds of toxic gas, and its surface is hotter than an oven.
Wait, doesn't Venus spin backward or something? I remember reading that.
You're absolutely right, Ella. Most planets spin in the same direction they orbit, but Venus decided to be unique. It spins the opposite way, slowly too. If you lived there, one day would last longer than a year.
So bedtime would take forever?
That's one way to put it. Now, third in line is our very own home, Earth. It's the only planet we know of with life, thanks to its perfect balance. Not too hot, not too cold, just the right distance from the sun. That balance is called the Goldilocks zone.
So the sun, all the planets and everything else, asteroids, comets, moons, even dust, it's all connected?
Exactly, Ella.
Makes sense. If Earth is just right, what about Mars? Isn't that next?
That's right. Mars is like Earth's younger sibling, but colder and dusty. It's called the Red Planet because of its iron-rich soil. People are fascinated with Mars. There's talk about humans visiting or even living there one day.
And there are robots there now, right? Mars has like space pets crawling around?
Kind of. Those are rovers like Perseverance and Curiosity, exploring Mars and sending information back to us. They're helping us learn so much. Now, beyond Mars, we have what's called the asteroid belt. Imagine it like a rocky border that separates the inner planets from the outer ones.
And the outer planets, those are the big gas giants, right?
Exactly. First up is Jupiter, the largest member of the family. If planets had a popularity contest, Jupiter would definitely win. It's massive, so big that it could fit all the other planets inside it. Oh, and it has a giant storm called the Great Red Spot that's been raging for hundreds of years.
A storm that lasts forever? That's intense.
Sure is. And then there's Saturn, the planet with those iconic rings. Did you know the rings are made of ice and rock chunks? Saturn's like the solar system's fashion model, showing off those dazzling accessories.
So what about Uranus and Neptune? I feel like they don't get talked about as much.
They're the quieter members of the family, but fascinating in their own right. Uranus is unique because it rotates on its side like a rolling ball. And Neptune? It's the farthest planet from the sun and has winds that are faster than any hurricane on Earth.
Brr, I bet it's freezing out there.
Oh, absolutely. 1 year on Neptune takes about 165 Earth years. Imagine celebrating your birthday just once in your lifetime there.
I'd still like a few extra holidays, though.
Beyond Neptune, the family has even more members like dwarf planets. You've probably heard of Pluto.
Pluto, that's my favorite. Why isn't it a real planet anymore?
Well, Pluto got reclassified as a dwarf planet because it doesn't clear its orbit of other space objects. But even so, it's still part of the solar family. Plus, it has some fun quirks, like having 5 moons.
So the sun, all the planets and everything else, asteroids, comets, moons, even dust, it's all connected?
Exactly, Ella. The solar family is a complex, beautiful system, all bound together by gravity. It's like a cosmic dance, with the sun leading and everything else following in its own unique orbit. And there's so much more to discover.
It's so cool to think we're all part of something that amazing.
The solar family? It's just one part of an even bigger universe.